These days, getting a loan can be as simple as a few taps on your phone. Super convenient, right? But what happens when that convenience comes with a hidden and pretty devastating cost? So today, we're going to dig into a story about how those instant digital loans can quickly turn into a really dangerous trap.
And this is really the main question we're looking at. A loan in just one click. It sounds amazing. But what is the real price you end up paying? This question, it gets right to the heart of the problem that so many people are facing now. That trade-off between something being easy and, well, the consequences. To really get what that 5-minute promise actually means in the real world, we're going to follow the story of a guy named Rohit. He's someone who honestly believed this was his big break.
Okay, so let's meet Rohit. He's a pretty normal, middle-class guy with a steady job, but, like a lot of us, he was dreaming of something bigger. He wanted to be his own boss, start his own small business. The only thing holding him back? He just needed a little bit of money to get it off the ground.
Then one day, he's just scrolling through social media, and this ad pops up. Instant loan, zero paperwork, approval in just 5 minutes. For Rohit, this felt like a sign from the universe. It seemed like the perfect, totally hassle-free way to finally fund his dream. So, without even really thinking twice about it, he applied.
And yeah, this is exactly where that dream starts to fall apart. The promise was for easy money, but the hidden cost was something Rohit couldn't have possibly imagined.
And look, at first, it was perfect. Just like the ad promised, the whole process was unbelievably smooth. The money just appeared in his bank account almost instantly. Rohit was so excited. He started buying things for his business, feeling like his dream was finally happening. But then, just 1 month later, that first payment notice hits. And this is where his dream just slams head-on into a very, very harsh reality. The interest rate was so ridiculously high that the monthly payment was actually more than his entire salary. The dream was very quickly turning into a total nightmare.
You see, this one little easy loan, it wasn't just a single problem. Oh no, it was just the beginning of this spiral that started pulling Rohit down into something much, much bigger. And what he'd stumbled into is something called a debt trap. It's this nasty cycle where you're forced to borrow more money just to pay off what you already owe. Each new loan just digs you in deeper, making it almost impossible to climb back out. And this is exactly where Rohit was now. So how in the world did this happen so fast? Well, let's break it down. It all started with that first, tempting, easy loan. Then came the interest payments, which were just completely unmanageable. In a moment of sheer panic, Rohit did what a lot of people in his situation do. He took out a second loan from another app just to pay off the first one. And just like that, the trap was set. Now he was juggling multiple massive payments and sinking faster than he ever thought possible.
And the thing is, the consequences went way beyond his bank account. Not even close. The real cost was the insane financial and mental toll it started taking, pushing him straight toward rock bottom.
And then the calls started. At first, they were polite enough. Just little reminders. Sir, when will you be making the payment? But it was constant, every single day. But pretty soon, that tone changed. The calls got way more aggressive, way more threatening. If you don't pay, then the threat was just left hanging there, It created this constant feeling of dread. And finally, the threats weren't even subtle anymore. They just laid it out there. You will have to face the consequences. Can you imagine getting these calls all day, every day? The stress was becoming absolutely unbearable.
And then hit rock bottom. The recovery agent started calling his family, his friends, his coworkers. His private financial struggle was suddenly a very public humiliation. He was just filled with this incredible shame and fear. The problem wasn't just his anymore. It belonged to everyone he knew.
But here's the thing. Even when you hit rock bottom, there can be a way out. It's not easy, not at all, but for Rohit, it started with one really crucial step. He finally asked for help.
So what did he do? What was his game plan? Well, first, he finally got the courage to tell his family everything. And with their support, they went into action. They cut out every single non-essential expense. They talked to a legal advisor to figure out his rights against all the harassment. And then, together, they created a realistic, structured plan to start paying off the debt one small step at a time.
Rohit's journey out of that debt trap was, long and really tough. But it taught him a powerful lesson about the real price of easy money. And this was Rohit's own realization. And honestly, it's the most important takeaway from this whole story. He said the mistake wasn't taking a loan,
It was taking one without understanding. See, taking a loan isn't necessarily a bad thing, but taking one without reading the fine print, without truly understanding the insane interest rates, and without a crystal clear plan for how you're going to pay it back, that is one of the biggest financial risks you could ever take.
And that really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? In this world of 5-minute approvals and getting everything instantly, it's really worth asking yourself, is any amount of easy money truly worth your peace of mind?